10 million people who live here in LA County are waking up to news this morning that their tax dollars may soon be going to help illegal immigrants and their families.
A new study from the Federation for American Immigration Reform reveals that taxpayers end up footing a $135 billion bill every year for illegal immigration. Dozens of criminal illegal migrants received Medicaid before their arrests and their deportations.
Every year, millions of undocumented immigrants live and work in the United States. Politicians often debate compassion and reform, but rarely the cost. Illegal immigration isn't just a border issue. It's an economic issue that touches every American household. The Democrat-run media relies on emotion, guilt, and shame to justify illegal immigration. But this video exposes the economic reality using one thing politicians like to avoid: facts.
Hey, wait, that's not how you arrest people.
Get on the ground.
That's not how you arrest people.
Get on the ground.
This is not about politics. It's about the average American who pays more in taxes, earns less at work, and faces a higher cost of living because of unchecked illegal immigration. Chapter 1. Direct costs: taxes, welfare, and public services. According to the Federation for American Immigration Reform, illegal immigration costs U.S. taxpayers around $150 billion annually. That's after accounting for taxes paid by undocumented workers. The biggest expenses include education, healthcare, and law enforcement. California spends over $25 billion per year, Texas about $13 billion, Florida $8 billion, and New York $9 billion. These billions could fund roads, teachers, veteran care. Instead, they're diverted to services who help people who entered illegally. In other words, they help criminals. Democrats argue that immigrants pay for their fair share through sales and property taxes, claiming the overall cost is neutral. But sales tax doesn't fund schools or hospitals. It's state income tax and property tax that pay for those. And the vast majority of illegal immigrants don't file income taxes at all. FAIR's analysis show they pay about $21 billion in taxes, but consume about $171 billion in public resources, which is a net loss of $150 billion annually. Progressives often claim opposing illegal immigration lacks compassion. In reality, what's compassionate about forcing working-class Americans to pay higher taxes, wait longer in hospitals, and accept lower school funding? Real compassion means protecting those who follow the law, not rewarding those who don't. The average American family indirectly pays nearly $1,150 per year for illegal immigration, a tax burden hidden inside your hospital bill, your property taxes, and your child's classroom size. Chapter 2. Indirect costs: lower wages, jobs, and housing. Over 7 million illegal immigrants currently hold jobs in the U.S. They work primarily in low-skill sectors like construction, food service, and hospitality, fields that used to provide a pathway to the middle class. The National Bureau of Economic Research found that a 10% rise in illegal labor can reduce native-born workers' wages by up to 5%. That's a pay cut for Americans who already face record inflation. Democrats claim illegal workers take jobs Americans don't want. That's a myth. Americans want fair wages and safe conditions. Employers simply prefer to pay under the table to avoid taxes and benefits. When the labor market is flooded with off-the-books workers, U.S. citizens get priced out. Illegal immigration also fuels housing inflation. The National Association of Realtors reports that population growth from foreign-born residents accounted for 15 to 20% of rent increases in major cities. More residents mean higher demand and higher costs for everyone. The left insists immigration drives growth and revitalizes communities. Growth means little if it makes housing unaffordable. While elites cheer population growth, working Americans face rising rents, bidding wars, and shrinking starter home supply. Immigration without regulation doesn't create opportunity, it's crushing it. Illegal labor may fill short-term positions, but it steals long-term futures, depressing wages, driving up rent, and locking families out of the American dream. Chapter 3. Tax gaps and the underground economy. The IRS estimates nearly $500 billion in taxes go uncollected every year, largely from unreported cash income. Many illegal workers are paid under the table, meaning they don't contribute to Social Security, Medicare, or unemployment insurance. Democrats argue that undocumented immigrants help fund Social Security by contributing billions they can never claim. While some use fake Social Security numbers that generate phantom payments, it's not a net positive. It creates identity mismatches and accounting problems that make it harder to track real taxpayers. These aren't contributions, they're distortions. This underground economy allows unethical employers to dodge taxes, creating an uneven playing field.
This Nation takes a deep dive into the underground economy created here in New York by the migrant crisis.
Law-abiding small businesses can't compete with those using cheap, off-the-books labor. For every undocumented worker avoiding taxes, there's a citizen paying more to cover the gap. Illegal labor doesn't strengthen the system, it erodes it. Chapter 4: Identity Theft and Fraud. The Social Security Administration's Inspector General estimates 1.8 million identity theft cases per year, linked to unauthorized work.
And I think that this really highlights a couple of things. The first is the importance of serious reforms to Social Security.
Many victims discover it only after receiving IRS letters about unpaid taxes for jobs they never held. Progressives downplay this as isolated or accidental misuse. But there's nothing accidental about stealing a child's Social Security number to work illegally. This creates lasting financial trauma, often for families least able to absorb it. When identity theft becomes normalized in the name of compassion, law and justice lose its meaning. Which is why I partnered with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura helps protect its users from stolen identity, fraud, and other cybercrimes. You can get started right now by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link that's in the description. Back to the video. Chapter 5: Social Safety Net Strain. Illegal immigration puts immense strain on public systems. In California alone, state healthcare costs for undocumented immigrants exceed $4.6 billion annually. Nationwide, emergency medical costs approach $18 billion. Democrats claim that extending healthcare to undocumented immigrants is humane and ultimately saves money. Yet these programs disincentivize self-sufficiency. Hospitals and schools are overrun, forcing taxpayers to subsidize care and education for non-citizens, while veterans and low-income Americans face wait lists. A nation that cannot prioritize its own citizens cannot sustain compassion indefinitely. Chapter 6: Long-term fiscal impact and remittances. FAIR estimates the net physical cost per illegal immigrant household at $8,000 per year, totaling $120 billion nationwide. Meanwhile, over $63 billion leaves the U.S. annually as remittances sent to other countries, over $55 billion to Latin America alone. That's money earned in America but removed from our economy, funding foreign GDPs while our own infrastructure decays.
According to a new cost analysis, illegal immigrants released into the United States.
Democrats frame this as immigrants supporting their families abroad, a moral good. But morality does not change math. Every dollar sent abroad is one not spent in American stores, not invested in American growth, and not taxed for American infrastructure. You cannot build prosperity when billions leave the economy every single month. The U.S. is bleeding wealth under the guise of compassion. Chapter 7: Future Outlook, Policy and Solutions. Fixing this problem begins with accountability. Mandatory E-Verify would stop illegal hiring by verifying work eligibility instantly. Yet Democrats have resisted it, claiming it's discriminatory. E-Verify doesn't discriminate, it verifies. It protects legal workers, rewards honest employers, and rebuilds the rule of law. A nation that enforces its borders isn't heartless, it's responsible. Chapter 8: Who really pays? Every nation has the right to decide who enters and who contributes. Illegal immigration blurs those lines, and the people paying the price are the same Americans who play by the rules. Real compassion isn't open borders, it's fairness, accountability, and a government that protects its citizens first. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I have plenty of other ICE content on my channel, and I have a lot more coming down the pipeline that you will not want to miss. Crime Chef out.